So in July 2022, did demand from tenants continue to completely outstrip property supply? Yes, of course it did. However, the market may have cooled off slightly during the month, purely in terms of previous months being so feverish with tenants doing what they can to secure available property as quickly as possible. Supply of property has increased very slightly onto the market, meaning that tenants have a little bit more choice. Here's some figures produced by Propertymark which show that available properties per letting agent have just nudged up each month very slowly. Here are our vital statistics from the month of July, and whilst I say the market might have cooled off slightly, it's all very relative. We're letting properties extremely quickly, on average 4.9 days before launching a property to having an offer accepted by a landlord. We're still achieving around 100% of the asking rent for each property, and that's because negotiating on the rent is still largely a thing of the past. Tenants are still desperate to secure the right property when they find it. And rents have still increased considerably. During the month of July, for each property that we let, compared to when we previously let that property, the rent increased by about 11.8%. Now that figure is skewed slightly because every so often a property comes along where the rent just rockets upwards. And this is mainly for family properties, which are thinner on the ground and harder to find, so therefore the rents have been pushed up even higher. We had one during July where the rent increased by 45% compared to the last time we rented that property. So if you remove that one, then the average rent increases are probably around 8 or 9%, which is more on par with the year as a whole. So that's the local scene. We're still getting a lot of applicants registering, looking for new properties every month. This month was up on last month, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I thought I'd take this monthly update as an opportunity to summarise some of the things that landlords need to be aware of that are not far away in terms of new legislation and things that we're going to need to comply with very soon. So as you're watching this at the start of August, you've got just under 2 months to make sure you're compliant with the new carbon monoxide alarm regulations that come in at the start of October. Now essentially what this means is that you now need to make sure you've got a carbon monoxide alarm present where you have gas boilers, gas fires, as well as the coal fires, wood fires that already required a carbon monoxide alarm. So that's coming up very soon. You need to make sure you've got a working alarm present with any combustion appliance. And if you need further guidance on those regulations, please do drop me a line. I'm always very happy to help. Now, of course, the Renters Reform White Paper continues to be a big hot potato, and compared to a few weeks ago, we now know a little bit more about the proposed regulations that may come in slightly further down the line. I'm going to very shortly do a separate video all about what I've learned about these reforms, so please do keep an eye out on that if you need to learn a little bit more. That'll be coming up soon. But I think the most pertinent thing that may be useful to you is that you will get fair warning of any new regulations, at least 6 months. So don't panic, these are not going to come in tomorrow. Slightly further down the line, so we're looking forward to 2024, but that's going to arrive before we're all ready for it, I'm sure. Landlords need to be aware of the government's Making Tax digital plans. So any landlord with a rental income exceeding £10,000 per year, you're going to be required to submit quarterly tax returns online. That's something you need to just start looking into and preparing yourself for. And then finally, in 2025, I think we're all well versed in the EPC regulations that are going to require minimum band C for your property in order to rent it out. That's something that I'm getting a lot of questions about. If you have questions, it's probably easier just to get in touch with me, but I have done a separate video on that if you'd like to learn more. That's all for July, and I'll see you again at the end of August. Bye-bye.